That's our sweet Bella in her search and rescue costume. She was just out with Karen. And now she stayed back here with me while I mowed this whole property here, our backyard. It's about 3,000 square meters and, well, no, 2,500 square meters. And it's a lot of bushes, as you see, a lot of boxwood hedges and trees. And I just mowed it with my 1954 Yazoo YR 60 inch monster machine. I love my mower. I've had it over 30 years now, and it was imported into Germany in the 1950s after World War II, and the Americans did a lot of golf playing over here, and they brought their mowers with them because they couldn't probably get the two-stroke cycle German mowers to run. So anyway, they brought this beauty here. It was built in 1954 in Mississippi, in Columbus, Mississippi, and it's like I say, 60 inches wide, has three blades, and is powered by I think it's 17 horsepower, something like that. Wisconsin AGND engine, one cylinder, 600 cc's, quite an impressive machine that starts every year. For 30 years it has started almost every time on the first or second try after a winter of sitting in the cold barn and so on. And it's a very, very wonderful, reliable engine. And I want to tell us what just happened. I mentioned this the other day in a short video I made, I believe, about the clutches, the clutch pack. When you drive forward, there are two clutches. There's one for forward and one for reverse. And the clutch pack for forward was slipping. And this is a horror because, first of all, taking the transaxle apart, I've done it. I repaired. In fact, I completely rebuilt this transaxle. Let's see if I can show it to you down here. It's a little dark now, of course. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening. That's the transaxle there. Runs the two front wheels, of course, and also has a power takeoff in front here for the blades. Well, the problem if it really did start to slip and I needed new clutches, it would be just about impossible. First of all, like I said, I rebuilt this transaxle about, well, many years ago, 20 years ago. But I wore a much younger man's clothes then, of course, and I could work on heavy stuff like that and could jack it all up and take off the wheels and take out and completely take out the transaxle, take it all apart, and of course Yazoo, the company, was still in business when I did it the last time. So I wrote them and I told them what the problem was, and they told me what I needed, and they told me what it would cost, and I ordered it, and it came, and I paid for it, and everybody was happy. Well, of course, Yazoo now only exists as a software company in Australia or something, so there's no chance of getting parts from them. There is a company in America that still sells some parts for the Yazoo mowers, not necessarily for this old one, but for the later ones. However, they don't have the clutches, and I understand some guy in Australia has a set of brand new clutches. He was just selling them for 300, or he had the offer to sell them for 300 Australian dollars or something. So that's probably not, well, that's not going to happen. I think he sold them already. So long story short, I'm making all this, although it's completely unnecessary, really. As I was thinking, as I was lying in bed at night, thinking about mowing the lawn and what catastrophe was going to happen when the Yazoo died, and even how I would get rid of it without having to, I don't want to junk it, so I want somebody to get it that would do something with it, and so on and so forth. Anyway, all of a sudden I thought that mower started, those clutches started slipping after I added oil to the transaxle. And then I went way back 30 years ago thinking about it and remembering what it said in the handbook, and I think I remembered that it said that overfilling the transaxle will make the clutches slip. So I got my big, let me show you what I used here. There it is. I figured if sucking the oil out of it didn't do any good, I could give it an enema with that. Anyway, it did. So I sucked out about 100 milliliters of oil and just mowed the whole lawn, and nothing slipped and everything was fine. And so I'm a happy camper again with my 70-year-old beauty of a mower here. That, of course, but I had another problem too. One of the drive belts for the let's see if I can show you that too. I'm holding the camera on a oh, it's a word I can never think of. Anyway, that drive belt there, that drive belt was slipping, and I could hear it. Every time I'd get into taller grass on the left side, I'd hear it go, and then as soon as I'd get out of the tall grass, it'd go back up again. So I looked at the belt, and the belt was okay, but it was obviously stretched because the adjustment for the belt was at its maximum. You couldn't make it any tighter. So I looked through my stash of belts. I was thoughtful enough, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, to buy I think I bought 3 full sets of belts for this thing. It has this one belt down here for the drive from the motor down to the this big pulley down here. That's of course the one that drives the transaxle. And then there are 2 belts. You can see them. They're up around there. They go directly from the motor to the cutter, to the mower deck, and they drive the center spindle, and 2 belts go off from that spindle to the other 2 spindles that drive for the other 2 blades. Well, anyway, I did have the right belt, and my dear sweet Karin helped me stretch that belt on because I didn't want to undo any bolts or anything. It's hard enough to get anything back together. So I just we stretched it right over the pulley, and it's now working fine. So right at this moment, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this mower. It's 100%, and I'm very pleased about that. Oh no, it's not 100%. It's at best 90%. The fuel tank is leaking. I don't know why. It's got to do something with that filter and glass bowl down there. I need to take the tank off actually and inspect what's going on there. I was afraid that the tank itself was leaking, but I think it's something from that filter. Although I've taken the filter apart as much as I could when it's on the tank, and I couldn't see anything wrong with that, and it wasn't dripping. So I don't know where it's losing gas from, but in any case, it is losing it, and it's losing it rapidly. I have to say it. A lot of gas runs out in a short time. So anyway, I was going to make a 5-minute video. Now this is a 10 or 11-minute video, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to let you all know that my dear sweet old Yazoo is running fine again, and everybody's happy. Thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thanks for subscribing, and love you all.